I'm so excited to share the books I wrapped up this 2022 with. These are the books I've read. Let's get started. Hey guys, I wanted to come on and do a video about the books I have read. I tried to get these all done in October, but because I decided not to use my Orcam or Ira, I just used a magnifier. It took me a lot longer. So these are the books I read in October, November, and December. So I'll go ahead and show you what I used. I used this magnifier on my glasses and my peripheral, so that way I can read it that way. And I also had to use a hand magnifier over the pages. So when I do it that way, it takes me an extra long time, but I really did enjoy it. So let's go ahead and jump into the books I read over the last 3 months, the winter months. I love horror. I love disturbing horror, and just to kind of like give you a little background about what I enjoy reading. So in October, obviously, I really focused on books that were scary or had horror elements, psychologically, mentally, physically, monsters, whatever. I got a little bit of mix of everything. So this book, The Ruins, has been adapted to a movie. I love this book, as you can tell. How many people reread books? I don't see that. I just see people just read and pass, read and go, read and go. But I have books that I love and I read over and over again, and The Ruins is one of them. It is a scary movie. It's about a scary plant. A group of kids go on vacation and they end up in a place where they're not supposed to go, and they can't leave because the natives in that area know what's there. They know the land is tainted, and if they try to leave off the ruins, the place where they're stuck, they kill them to keep the spores there, because I guess once you go onto the ruins land, spores attached to you can spread that plant throughout the region, and obviously the native people there are protecting themselves and everybody else. So very good. I love this book. I'm going to try to find it in hardback, but you can tell she's so loved. It took me a moment to read. The words are somewhat tiny, but that's okay. I took my time because I knew I read it before. So a guilty pleasure. Keeping this book. I'm even going to keep this because it has memories for me, even if I find the hardback. So I love this book. The next one is The Girl Next Door. I'm also going to keep this book, and this is very, very disturbing. Trigger warning. It's about a young lady that is detained by a family, a mother and a group of boys, and horrible things are done to her. So no monsters, only humans being the monster. Very, 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 I feel, graphic, beautifully written. It really made a huge mental picture. So I am going to keep this book, but it is very disturbing. And I think this is a great part of sharing how I got into horror, my love for that genre. When I was young, I was a huge reader. I'm extremely introverted, never went outside really, never had any friends. My friends were books. And again, history, my eye disease didn't come into play until my mid-30s. So anytime before that, I had foot vision, and I just dived myself in books. I can read multiple books at a time and just lose myself in that imaginary world with my imagination. But the books that kind of opened up my love for horror was Stephen King, obviously. So the first 2 books I've read that jump-started my love was The Exorcists, and The Stand by Stephen King. what? But you know what? I read them, I fell in love, and then I just hyper focused on Stephen King, and I just wanted to consume everything he's written. And as you know, Stephen King has written a lot, and I still have that passion. So that's how I got into the horror genre. But anyway, let's go on to, and most of these books you'll notice from my TBR for October. This one also has been adapted to a movie. And all these have. The Girl Next Door has also been adapted to a movie. I think you can see this on Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken. And I think The Ruins is also on a streaming service, I'm not sure. But The Bird Box, it was a book first. It is a movie with Sandra Bullock on Netflix. And I love this book. I really did. It was a lot better than the movie, just the way it was written. So I'm definitely keeping this book. I'm not going to do a lot of explanation of what these are about because I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen the movie or read the book and you wish to do so. But it also goes into the scary genre, monsters kind of. Monsters mixed in with post-apocalyptic survival type of theme, which I'm all about. I love all kinds of horror. It doesn't really matter to me if it has great characters, great writing, anything that can like stick out to me and suck me in, I'm all for it. And even though it's a thin, small book, the words were little, so it did take me a while to get through. But I truly did enjoy this, and I thought this definitely was better than the movie. This one, also, Night of the Living Dead, and the sequel is 2 books in one. I love the movie first of all, but I was with the movie, obviously the original from George Romero, just the political and just like the tension, everything was like awesome. But I'm not keeping this book, unfortunately. It basically was like really high super level explanation of the movie. I just felt like I was sitting down with exposition of the movie. It didn't add anything, absolutely no emotion. I didn't care about the characters. It just was a regurgitation without any emotion. Basically, it just retold the story with absolutely no tension, no drama. I didn't care about anybody. I just want the zombies to eat them. So if you didn't know, Night of the Living Dead and Part 2, the whole entire series is a movie. So this book resulted from the movies, and yeah, did not like it, not keeping this at all. And last but not least, of course, I got it, my stand. I'm fangirling. I had to read Stephen King's Dr. Sleep. Again, small writing, took me a while to get through. That's why